Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all doing okay tonight. My name is Samin, and tonight we have a really exciting program. We've got a team tonight that they're making, inshallah, their debut for BCL as a franchise this year. However, I think at this point they are a household name. Great bunch of lads. I've played against them. I've played alongside some of them for another team as well. And I'm really excited to have a chat with them today. So without further ado, let's get in the players from the Randwick Raiders. So today we've got Ramon Paya, we've got Jamil, Imlak, and Vedi. First thing I want to start off with is Imlak. If you crash your car today, it's not my fault because this was a voluntary thing. Just for the record, like he joined voluntarily, and I don't take any like liability for if something goes wrong today. But I do appreciate you joining anyway.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
So yeah, thanks all for joining. So I think before we talk about the future and what's in store for BCO, I think it'll be good to give the viewers a bit of background as to what's happening in the Raiders camp at the moment. Semi-final coming up, is it this weekend, guys? Or
that's right,
this weekend. And if I'm not wrong, the last 12 to 18 months for the Raiders has been pretty crazy. You guys won that last BSO, played SCT after that, won that as well. And if you win this, it'll be 3 in a row. So just tell us a bit about what it's like in the Raiders camp, and if there's what's been so special in the last 12 to 18 months. Have you guys just been playing great cricket, or just has there been anything that you guys have been perform so well?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think the lads have come together quite nicely. We've got a good balanced side at this stage. So we've got some of the old boys, we've got some of the new boys, and we've got a lot of experienced boys. So I think that really adds up to ensuring that we win comp after comp. But we have been lucky, but at the same time, the other teams are catching up quickly. They are very, very good teams. Their standard has increased a lot. So to stay on top of our game, we need to ensure we train well, we play hard, and work together as a team. So I think it's very important that everyone knows their roles and responsibilities. Whether you're a bowler, whether you're a batsman, when you're coming down, when you're a hitter, when you're a fieldsman, I think that's very important. I think everyone knows their roles and responsibilities, which has led to a lot of wins.
Amazing. Anyone else want to sort of chime in on that? Maybe like Ramon Paya. I remember that grand final that we played for the last BSO, and you won the game with that ramp. That's like, what a way to win a comp, right? What's your take on sort of the Raiders' performance?
Now, I think, as Vedi said, I think the way the team is gelling right now, I think that's so important. Everyone's enjoying the game. Everyone is enjoying to be there with each other on that Sunday. So when you bring all that experience and when you all that fun on the pitch, you want to be around with those boys. Things just happen naturally, right? And it's just that winning spirit that Raiders always had. It's back with new talents, old players. I reckon we're having the best time. And we want to be there every Sunday with each other, having fun, winning games. And the final goal is winning the trophy, right? Regardless whether it's my ramp shot, whether it's someone else's shot, doesn't matter. Nobody is there's not a single hero in this team anymore. It's like this whole team is all about the balance of all the boys. And when one fails, another one picks up, right? So I think, and that's our strength, and I'm loving it.
Amazing stuff. And look, even though it is, I guess, the Raiders' first time playing in BCL, last time I think a lot of you guys played for Saints, right? When I looked at the lineup on paper, it pretty much looked like a Raiders lineup. So what sort of led you guys to think, you know what, this time let's actually put forward the Raiders franchise instead of Saints? You guys are runners up as well. I was actually just looking at the scorecard, so we'll talk about that a bit later. But tell us a bit about what the Raiders trying.
I'll probably jump in on that. Just on the fact that Saints, Raiders boys actually didn't know much about this comp, about the BCL comp. So I did play with Raiders and introduced those to the Raiders boys. And to be honest, one credit I need to give to this competition with Shahid Bhai and all of you guys run, it's a fantastic comp. that's the experience we had from last year. And that kind of cemented in these boys' head that, you know what, this is a comp we would like to play. It's very professionally held, and it's very nicely organized. It's something that Raiders wants to participate in, and hence all the boys really wanted to go in, you know. So yeah, hopefully it is our Raiders' first comp together, and we're gonna come in hard to get this trophy.
Yeah, and I'm gonna jump in, and you know, I'd like to echo what Ramon said. You know, when I played that comp, I was like, firstly, we were disappointed not to win it with Saints, and secondly, you know, after the comp, after the final, we said, you know what, it's a great comp. You know, it's fortnightly. You know, you've got day night game, you've got some Saturday games. You know, you don't have to worry about leg umpiring, putting the cones out, scoring. You know, live stream. You know, can't go wrong, right? And for me, that was like, you know what, we've got to put in a team and let's do it, right? Every week, every fortnight. So yeah, and that's, you know, obviously we got the nod of approval from the rest of the boys, and we said, okay, you know what, let's play in winter. So yeah, we're looking extremely forward to it.
We normally do take a break.
Yeah. It doesn't happen, but yeah, we'd like to take a break.
Yeah, that's sort of what everyone says, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna do it once I finish this comp. I'm just gonna like take a bit of time off, and then you sign up because your mate's playing for like another team, and then you just end up playing every week. I think everyone's sort of been there because it just like starts getting a bit too fun, and you know, you gotta, especially in something like T20, you get like one good knock or like one good bowling innings. You're like, you know what, might as well go back again, and then you just end up sort of playing the whole comp. So yeah, I'm glad that you guys are really enjoying the comp. In terms of Raiders, like what sort of squad are we expecting? Like, is it like a typical Raiders lineup or any exciting new additions?
I'll let Jimmy answer that.
I think we have a pretty typical Raiders lineup this season. We do have a new captain though, and we do have, I think, 1 or 2 new signings. If correct, am I correct, Imlak, in saying that?
Yeah, I think he's frozen. Yes, but yeah, we do have a few new boys coming in. A lot of young boys. As you probably know, the Raiders are aging at the moment, right? So I think it's important that we bring up the young boys. So we do have a few young boys joining our team. Yes, some of them play grade, some of them don't. But I think it's just ingraining that culture within them. So they do take over from us at a later point. So yeah, a few new boys. I think we've got at least 5 or 6. But at the same time, we've got the Noble Raiders.
Did it just drop off?
Yeah, I think you were frozen for a bit there, MZ.
Oh, sorry, man.
No, that's all good. But yeah, the question was just surrounding like if we're expecting like a typical Raiders lineup. But yeah, Betty confirmed that couple of new youngins coming in as well. So I'm keen to see the name.
No, for sure.
Hey, when are you gonna stop playing? Are you just gonna keep going until you can't walk anymore?
The question is, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
Are you talking to Raymond? Or are you talking to Imlak? Or are you talking to Betty?
I'm talking
Because
to
a couple of
we're
the
all
boys.
the same age.
I'm talking. No, it's really good. It's always great banter as well. Just you know, having you boys out there, and like, you know, irrespective of age, like I think especially like in these Barno comps, like experience over everything, man. Like there's guys that have come out and like, you know, sometimes you look at them and be like, oh, you know what, should be a walking wicket, and then they come and start like belting 6, 7 over just because they've been at it for so long. So it's always great to have you boys, and yeah, please don't stop. There's always good banter out there. I do want to talk a bit about you guys. The last tournament you guys played with Saints. I was just looking at the scorecard because I just remember vaguely that it was a really, really tight final. You guys batted first, scored 185 for 9 after 20 overs, and striking burners, man, they had 1 wicket left and just got there with 4 balls. So your answer to this question can be just about the final, or even just about the whole comp in general. But what were your sort of like learnings or any takeaways from that last performance or that last tournament?
Look,
I'll let Ramon answer that one. Yeah, Ramon.
Yeah.
The thing with Raiders is like everybody says, like when it's the finals, the different Raiders comes out, right? And that's something that we thrive towards. Like when it's the finals, we know how to close those games and win the trophy. Unfortunately, that day just thinks we dropped so many catches, which is not the typical Raiders, and that's kind of gave the game away. But then, yeah, it was disappointing because we were really looking forward to winning the trophy. But I feel like that made the Raiders boys more hungry this year because we came so close, but then couldn't not being able to lift the trophy which we are used to it made us more hungry. So look,
It's unfathomable.
With all due respect to other teams, it's just something I feel like we have unfinished business in this competition.
Yeah, 100%. What about Vetti? You played that final as well, right? Yeah. What's your take on the final or just the comp in general?
Yeah, look, I think the comp is amazing. It's probably one of the better run comps. So kudos to the organisers. Samin, I love your banter when you guys are commentating as well. You and the other lads from what's up, brothers? I mean, I'm joking. Your team. I love those boys as well. It's a great comp, right? You've got good commentators. You've got great organisational skills here as well. So it's always fun to play with, right? The umpires are ready there, ready to go. In regards to the comp itself, I think Ramon hit the nail on the head. We've got unfinished business, so we want to be able to come back and close it off this particular comp. And the finals, look, I don't think we played our best game. Is the honest truth. We would have got 185, 189. Look, that's honestly in any finals. That's winnable, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like that to me, like 185 in a final batting first. That's easily 200 plus. That's like 220, 230 in a standard game. When a team in T20 is trying to chase down 186, right?
Yeah, agree. And then so I think what let us down was the catching, right? We didn't take those. And look, at the end of the day, it's catches win matches. So I think possibly enough runs on the board, but we didn't take those catches, so we didn't deserve to win. So I think because of that, we're coming to close off. How do I say this? So we're coming to shut down the store.
So it has. Tasin Bhai says try again next year, 2026. So does not want a Raiders team in there or what?
It's interesting. Tasin didn't want to play with us, so so he needs to be the. The Raiders don't have any champions, right? Everyone plays together, but he needs to be the champion. So in that one team that he plays for, so he's going to be doing that.
All right.
But we love Tasin though. We love Tasin.
He's a great bloke, man.
So when I go to his house this Friday for a dawat, he'll absolutely smash me. So,
man, don't worry. Just take his legs out. Take one of your bats to yourself. Just take his legs out, and that's it. He can't play. I've got a question. This one's aimed more towards Jamil, bro. Like I watched you play for Saints last year. You're opening the batting. Is that correct? Opening the batting.
Yeah, either one of those two. They were my roles last year for BCL. Yeah.
Man, from what I remember, from commentating your games, you're scoring like 40, 50 nearly every single game. And, just having a look at recent, I think you were man of the match in your last game as well. That, just the quarterfinal that you guys played against Equishare, they were in a pretty strong position to win. I think where you scored about, 70 odd or something. So your battings look really, really good. Again, over the last 12 to 18 months, I know I brushed upon the Raiders' success over that sort of time period, but I think your batting's played a really crucial role in that. So just for the batters out there, do you have like any sort of advice or what does your sort of training look like?
Really appreciate the comments. Thank you very much. But I think I've just got such an easy role in this Raiders team, backed up by so many amazing batters behind me. So I have a pretty simple role coming in at the start, just to play my shots and just pretty much take the innings out, take it throughout the whole innings, and everyone just bats pretty much around me. I think my role is pretty easy in the team that way.
I think he's being really nice about it. Like he is our rock. And to be honest, like if you have a look at his innings, you'll see there was like 3 games he batted through the entire 20 overs.
Yeah.
Right. So he's essentially our foundation stone, right? So yeah, he's just nice about it, but he's an exceptional player.
No, but I'm feeling well at the moment though. Things are looking well.
Jimmy, stop blushing. Jimmy's blushing over there.
Let me add one more comment about Jamil's batting. Like for any newcomer batsmen in the community, they want to learn about proper batting technique, they gotta watch Jamil Hussein's bat, because
Yeah.
to me he's one of the most complete technical batsmen in the community.
Yeah, agreed.
I 100% agree, because there were some of those games where Saints lost early wickets, and I think Jamil ended up on like 40 or 40 or 50 or 50. So he actually stayed throughout that innings, and he's like, you know what? Like, instead of going for a hack and trying to really go big and try to win this game from here, because we've lost a few early wickets, he's like, nah, you know what? Let me actually stay in, right? Try and get 40 or 50, even if it's at just 100 strike rate, and we'll put up a total that we can. So, I guess I wanted to ask you, as someone that bats like in the top order as well, Jamil, like, what's your sort of mentality when you've lost a few early wickets and you're just watching, literally, you're on the runner's end and you're watching wickets fall on the other end? Like what do you think about?
I think, well, if in situations like that, I just like to just keep ticking it over. I don't like to get bogged down. I know, just like get the other batsman on strike, and they should do the same thing as well. Get you back on strike as well. As long as you're ticking it over, I think things will end up coming. So I trust in my technique, and I just trust in getting your eye in as well. So yeah, I just like to tick things over. Even though if I'm scoring at 100 right strike rate, I think, and I can take it all the way through, I think my job's done there. So that's what I was saying. Like, my role is pretty simple, that I just want to take it through, and the rest of the boys just bat around me. But yeah.
100%.
And I think, just to add to that, and Jamil is being modest, if you look at our batting lineup last week, I mean, I'm coming in at number 5. I don't consider myself like a full-fledged batsman, right? So really, if we lose Jamil's wicket there, we're in a bit of trouble. And Shanak played an excellent innings as well. So in a quarter-final where we had, Remon, names like Tanzul, Ishmael, Akhtar missing in our middle order, Jamil gives his wicket there quickly, we're in trouble. So yeah, I think that partnership between Jamil and Shanak was excellent, made Mai and Vedi and the rest of the boys' job easier, right? And pretty much after us, we move on to the tail. So yeah, it was a top class knock.
Yeah, and that's what I've seen. Like, there's been a lot of like really, I guess they've all been, really well-rounded performances. But at times you've needed someone to stand up, especially even over these last 12 to 18 months. Like, someone stood up. Whether it was in that batting lineup or whether it was in the bowling, like someone came through clutch with a few quick wickets. I think that's something that you guys have done really well. On that topic, for the Raiders, if there's one player that you'd say that team should really sort of look out for, who would you say in this upcoming tournament? Other teams should be sort of really looking up against.
I'll jump on that. From a complete player,
Don't say
like
Kaz.
all-rounder point of view, of course, Tanzil
Yeah.
Rahman is someone like, he's an asset to our team, whether it be bowling, fielding, batting. He just takes it to that next level, right? So we cannot discount his ability to. He's a match winner for us. But then also, as I previously said, like, it's not a one-man's team, right? It's not every game Tanzil's gonna perform, and hence we got a package of other players as well that, like, who also performed when it's time with his turn. He performs. There's Vedi's turn, Vedi performs. So it's just. Yeah, I feel like we got a very well balanced team with Ishmael, Haas, everyone else. But to me, if you want to ask about that one player who's the X factor in our team, definitely Tanzil.
And further to that, I think Imlak's got a role to play in that as well. Imlak at the start of every game goes, "Who's going to put their hand up today, lads? Who's going to be the winner for us? Who's going to be the game changer for us today? Who's going to do it with the bat? Who's going to do it with the ball? Raymond, are you going to do it with your flying catches like you do in the semis and the quarters?" Like, he challenges us on a ongoing basis constantly. So some of the credit also for him.
Yeah, so we have that banter among each other, which is that banter that nobody takes an offense, but the banter that actually motivates you to take your game to that next level.
Next level, yeah, agreed.
Yeah, and let's just say if I get a duck, or if I score below 5 runs, I'll hear it from Rams for weeks, and he'll hear the same from me if he has a drop catch, or and I think that's what makes us better. We push ourselves, right? Even within the team, we look within ourselves, and I can name a few. Perfect example for me would be someone like Tasim Abu, right? He came into our team, this year he's already taken 10 wickets, right? His catching has been exceptional. He's been great on the field. He's actually worked very hard with his batting. So, just seeing players like that improve, it's just, it's great to see. And I think that only way that's possible is by us challenging each other every day at every training session. Holding each other accountable.
When it comes to challenging, it's also passing on the baton of sledging. So Jimmy used to carry that flag before. Now he had handed it over to Abu Mozi. So Mozi is our sledging king in our team at the moment.
Yeah, I remember playing the Saints, playing your boys last time. Yeah, man, he was going off. I was like, I didn't expect it from him. I thought he was like the quiet, shy guy on the team. But man, like I copped it from him because I batted for a while as well. I was like, might as well get out, eh? Look, now that you guys have mentioned training, and this is a question I forgot to ask about as well, right? There's even though like Vedi, you mentioned like teams are really sort of upping their standards in the community, because a lot of like teams that were pretty new, even just like 3, 4, 5 years ago, like they're starting to really, really mature. In saying that, there's still a lot of like new teams that are up and coming as well. And I think everyone sort of has that standard habit of like, we'll make it like, once a week, train, whatever. What does sort of Raiders training look like? Typically, is it just sort of everyone goes in, has their own sort of focus point, or do you guys have sort of like a briefing, beforehand, and you're like, all right, these are some of the things we're going to work on, and then you go based off that?
It's a good question, right? You're talking about training, and we're actually at training. So we're standing outside the Norm O'Neill cricket facility. So I think essentially, the batsmen get into the nets, the bowlers get into the nets as well. But we normally do take players aside. Like, you've got the likes of, Taz, Imlak, Jimmy, and really working with the batters as well as the bowlers, and where they can improve on moving forward. So I think that's really important. Because once again, we're here to be better than our previous self yesterday, right? And you're only going to get better when you get challenged. And it's really good to have mentors like them. Like, you've got Prosh as well, Ish, that really put in. And the expectation is they'll continue to, train the team as well as the youngins that do come on board, because we do have a lot of young players coming into this particular comp. And look, we've got at least 15, 16 boys here today. So from both comps, PSL and BCL, who are here to train. So it's just that ongoing challenge yourself, get the batsmen and the bowlers, the experienced players, to talk to them, how they can improve their game. And let's see if we can do it in the nets before taking it to the game.
Yeah, and I think that's important. Like, I'll give an example of myself. Last week, I came from Bangladesh, lots of kachi, my feet wasn't moving. So, I decided to go on the side net, and I had Shanak and Haas throw some balls at me just to get my feet moving, So I think for us, we've got the experience now. We know, where we're lacking, and the more experienced guys will go and work on those things. So I think it's important to recognize your development areas. And what Vedi mentioned for the younger guys, I think we kind of mentor and say, okay, you could work on this. Maybe your power hitting, or, Taz will take them aside and, do some throwdowns and work on particular things. Same with bowlers, Vedi will give him some tips, how to swing the ball by miles, or, bowl his off cutters, or whatever it is, right? So, I think it's important to recognize your development areas and work on them, and, obviously adapt to your game. Like, if you pick T20 and your role, you're coming down to bat 5 or 6 or 7, your job is... I think your training should be focused on that, right?
I think you're sort of cutting out, is
the good ones as well. Or turn it into
I think you're cutting out,
sorry,
That's okay. You were talking about, who are one of the key players to watch out for, Samin. And Raymond said, it's Taz, Imlak said it was, Abu. For me, it's because this bloke comes training every week as well. It's Taj or Fahim. He's come a long way. Taz works on him, I work on him. Whether it's his bowling or batting, this guy can be complete package, destructible. He'll absolutely smash everyone. And that it's Taz's brother, right? It must be in the blood. So so once again, all the boys talking to the younger ones and ensuring that they get what they want out of it, which is becoming better players.
100%. Ramon, did you have a take on just the Raiders training or?
Sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to hear your stance on just the Raiders training and
Look, with cricket, no matter what sort of superstar you are, training is perfection, right? So every week, because these boys are training, Raiders are training, and that kind of shows in the field those critical catches at that moment, those scoring at the right moments. I think it all kind of reflects that comes out of the training. So I think training is very important. This is one sport you can't shy away without training. If you want to be at the top, performing at the highest level, you have to train every week.
Yeah,
And
agree.
these Raiders boys do it day in day out, and that kind of translates into the game.
I think just also adding into that, our training, we do keep it very simple as well, where we're just doing batting and bowling and also sometimes fielding, but we do self-manage each other. So we know what our roles are in each game, and we practice and train according to our roles as well.
Yeah, I think that's really important, because I think it's easy to sometimes just jump in the nets and everyone's like, oh, if I'm batting, I'm just gonna go for a smack. If I'm bowling, oh, I'm just gonna try and hit the stumps. Whereas I've seen at Kirkham, opening the batting at Kirkham, it can be a nightmare, in those morning games, from what I've seen, and it's a bowler's dream because the way that the ball moves is it's pretty crazy. And sometimes you might even I've seen bowlers just literally a good line and length on that offside, and they've before they've bowled 3 or 4 overs, gone for 12, 13, 14 runs, and the batting team's down already that many overs, and they're we've got to really put up a total in these next 15, 16 overs that we have left. So I think you guys sort of training approach sounds really interesting. Obviously it works, especially the way that you guys have performed over the years. And I'd highlight again in the last 12 to 18 months, I think everyone's just been looking at the Quick Club scorecard for the Raiders games, and you guys have managed to pull through with the wins. We've only got about 2 minutes left, so we're probably running out of time. But again, look, I really do want to thank you boys for joining tonight. Clearly, all of you guys are doing something. No one's actually sitting at home like myself. I'm really, really excited to see the Raiders' performance. Someone did comment that you guys are definitely. I think it was. Let me have a look. Who was it?
Can I just add one
Yeah.
one more thing, Samin, is that we don't want to sound complacent as well. Just want to respect there are heaps of other teams now in this tournament that's coming up the ranks, and seriously, there are some serious good players out there. Day in, day out, they amaze us, and a lot of respect to them, to those teams as well. So it's good to see that there's some fierce competitions out there. I believe back in the days, it used to just revolve around 4 to 6 same teams playing the finals and stuff. But it looks like that has changed. A lot of new teams are coming up the ranks, man, and that really
big
shows
time.
the quality of other teams and lots of other players. Which we really respect.
Also, that's what keeps the comps fun, right? That final Saints played last time against Striking Burners, that was an absolute nail biter. You want to see that was what 39.2 overs played out of 40 possible overs, right? In a T20 game. That's the sort of thing you want to see. And when you see a grand final and someone absolutely claps another team, it's what kind of grand final was that? Someone else should have been there. Maybe someone had their bad game in the quarterfinal or the semifinal, even though they had a really strong squad, really strong tournament. Unfortunately, it dropped out, and someone else managed to make it through, and it was a strong final. But what we saw from it comes down to who plays BCL and the way that the teams are structured. I feel like it's just teams just pile on just the best players in the community into these teams, and we've got new franchises coming in this time as well. But when I look at these lineups on paper, teams are looking pretty stacked. So. Like you mentioned, I don't think it's necessarily going to be easy for the Raiders. I think you guys definitely have what it takes to lift the trophy. But I can say the same thing about other teams that we've been interviewing as well. So again, wish you guys all the best. I won't hold you guys back any longer from the Drake concert and the rest of you boys that are training. Really do appreciate you guys joining, and genuinely wish you guys all the best. I'll see you guys out there on the field inshallah in a few months.
Thank you.
Inshallah.
Thanks, Samin. Appreciate it, bro.
Guys, thank you, boys.
Hey, Samin, we miss your training. Come down.
I'll come down soon, inshallah. No, I know.
Inshallah. Take care.
Take care, brother. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. 8:30 on the dot. We've wrapped up. That was the Randwick Raiders. If you missed any of it, you can go back, watch it. The live stream will be saved on the page. Great chat with some of the boys. As I said, really, really keen to see these guys on the field in a couple of months. And yeah, thanks for joining the program again. And inshallah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Good night.